Hey guys, how's it going? The real Randy Chavez here. Sorry, this is a late video coming at you today because I had so much to do. Just finished a Pokemon video and now I had to upload it, call people. But this is going to be a stock Tesla and Fastly video comparing it to Net. I know I've mentioned both of those, but Tesla, first of all, I did not buy any Tesla shares today. I'm waiting on a deal at work where I'm going to have to throw a lot of money into. I hope I do, because that's going to make me a lot of money in the next year. But if I don't have to, that's an extra, 20 grand that I can throw in. Not going to throw everything into Tesla and Fastly, but a decent amount. I'm also going to buy some Pokemon cards, of course. I do that anyway. Like I said, over leverage. To quote Elon Musk, where he had to, got 180 million from what was it, PayPal, and was it 100 million goes into Tesla, 70 into SpaceX, or maybe it was reverse, and like 10 million into Solar City, whatever it is, and then just had to borrow money from friends to pay the rent. Not that I'm glorifying that, not that you should over leverage yourself, but like, if you're gonna do something, like, and considering I'm still relatively young, I'm only 29, I see things that are undervalued, such as Tesla, such as Fastly, such as Lumina and Square. And then, like I said, Pokemon cards again. I try not to bring that up because it's strictly a stock Tesla video. But if I see something really undervalued, again, that's what I do. I'm going to buy it. Not a financial advisor. I'm not a stockbroker. I don't have Series 767 license. This is just my opinions. These are all just what I'm doing, full transparency. Right now, Tesla, they had a couple of pieces of news today. One not directly involved, but one was directly involved. They said that interest fell for Tesla reservations, the last 2 months, March and April, or April, May, or it was March and April, because it fell like 33% year over year. It was meaning like this time last year, there was 33% more reservations for Teslas than there were this year. But why is that? There is more cars this year, there's more available. And again, this is just California. And if you just kind of look into it, all right, Tesla was shut down for 7 weeks, the Fremont factory. And Tesla's one of those companies where they're not going to take reservations unless they're opening. And that's just it. At the start of the pandemic, Tesla only had like 20 days worth of inventory with them. They didn't have like, 100 something days worth of inventory. And when you're shut down for 7 weeks, 49 days, sorry, math, you're just not going to take that many reservations. So despite that news, Tesla was up like 0.5% or percent today. They did flirt with that $1,000 mark. I think they actually passed it once or twice today, but then it settled at like 989 or something like that. Again, if that, I don't have to do that deal by Thursday or Friday, I'm gonna put a lot. Pretty much all that 20 grand is gonna go into Tesla's. Gonna be a few of them. There's a Pokemon card that's gonna be running about 4 to 5 grand. 4 or 5 grand, in that range. And then there's what I really want to get into the meat and potatoes today is Fastly and Net. Net is Cloudflare. Fastly is Fastly. Tesla. But before I get into that, Tesla's other piece of news, which again doesn't directly affect Tesla, it's a piece of news from Lyft. Lyft had said that by 2030, they wanted to have all of their drivers be driving electric cars. Now, it's a very big claim. It's not easy to do. It is, however, unlike the UK, where they want every new car to be made at 2031 to be electric. They don't want any internal combustion engines. And there's just one country, but others are following. Lyft is not a whole entire country. Lyft is not the biggest country in Europe. It's not even the biggest car company, rideshare company in the US. It is, Uber has that. And then honestly, I think by 2030, Tesla's going to outtake both of them, both Uber and Lyft, because there's just going to be so many vehicles on the road. It's going to be cheaper, better for the consumer, it's going to be quicker. And it's going to be safer. But what they're doing, let's say how many millions of people that they have driving, they said that they are not going to fire people that have internal combustion engines. They're very optimistic in saying that they won't need to. They say every single one of their drivers by that time will have electric vehicles. I don't see that happening. Again, respect to Lyft for trying to go into cleaner energy or clean energy, but I just don't think that's possible to have every single one of their drivers have electric vehicles. Again, if they do that, I think that's great. And if they're going to do that, if they're going to follow through, the Tesla's going to lead that market. So anyone that wants to drive for Lyft is going to have to get a Tesla. And honestly, at that point, I really don't think there's going to be a lot of human drivers. I think full self-driving, autonomous driving is going to be solved, and there's going to be a lot of Teslas on the road, and Lyft might not even be a thing by 2030. Again, I love that they're very optimistic that they'll still be around, and that if they are, they're going to want electric vehicles. That is great news for Tesla. Any electric car company that is putting out all electric vehicles, I think that is fantastic. Moving on past that, for Fastly and Netscape, Fastly and Net, which is Cloudflare. Net, a month or two ago, a couple months ago, I had the choice to invest in one or the other, and I chose Fastly because they both do relatively the same thing, even though Net is a bigger company. Cloudflare is something that's just bigger. They had like a $7 or $8 billion market cap, or $6 billion. It was like double the size of Fastly. They were about a year older, and they're both around 18 to 22 dollars a share. And again, Net was bigger, but they were very controversial. And I love controversy. I'm a rebel at heart. I love sticking it to the man and free speech. And Net does what I wish our government would do. They basically say all these websites that we are doing, cloud edge computerware, DDoS, we're just going to not monitor and they house companies like 8chan. 8chan, obviously, if you guys know, very similar to 4chan, where horrendous stuff that should not be joked about is joked about. Websites are linked to mass shootings. It is just the wild, wild west of the internet. It's like one of the links, that's basically the last step of the internet before you download Fox or not Firefox, one of those closed internet private browsers where you just go onto the dark web, and it's just like a very, very, I don't want to say sketchy, but the fact that they're not monitoring what's going on there. And again, you could find anything you want on the dark web, but again, 4chan is like that last place you go to before you go to the dark web. And they had since then not worked for them. They kind of did the right thing after a shooting in, I think, El Paso. That was linked to 8chan. They said, all right, we're not working on your site anymore. Go find someone else. But they still, for everyone that they do now, they don't monitor anything. And not that they should be the police or anything, but, internet, a lot of things can happen. Fastly does not do... They're not that controversial at all. There's no controversy with them. They're just A-rated, fantastic company. And they, like I said the other day, they took, after their Q1 earnings report, after the stock went to about 34, 35, issued more shares. Also, there's less shares. There's less shares of Fastly than there is of Net. And I think that will bode well, where as people want to continue to buy more, obviously Fastly was the better move short term. We see Fastly up to I bought it $22. I'm up 150% on this stock. It's up to 50, almost $60 a share. And, Net has increased. I think it's 35 or 38, something like that. So it increased. It didn't double yet, since I had the choice. Fastly's going through the roof. A bunch of hedge funds are going at Fastly. And again, as they grow, as they're doing everything, and they are growing. But the biggest thing that's happening, everyone knows Shopify. Shopify is running the world right now. They're close to $100 billion market cap. Net is at I think a $10 billion market cap now, so they increased a bit. And Fastly almost double. They're a $6 billion market cap now. They are incredibly, incredibly growing so fast. And why I mentioned Shopify is because they just penned a deal with Walmart, saying Walmart is going to bunch of retail. They're going, every single store, because of this pandemic, is going so hard on retail. And why that matters with Shopify, because Walmart is using Shopify for some of their, saying hey, help us, link up with us. And, they split the spoils, as it were, for everyone that goes online to retail. I'm sorry, online as opposed to retail. And the online outlets are going insane these last few months. And Fastly is going to be one of the companies to be able to pick up some of that traffic to work for them. And they are going to get a... Net, I think, is still going to claim a loss in Q2. Fastly, should be a good profit. And again, they should be growing. And they also just acquired a company called Tessuto. I don't know how much they had to pay for that or what the exact fine details were, but the company Tessuto today, which basically a smaller company that complements everything that Fastly does. And the three owners of Tessuto, they're all taken on, they're all hired by them, and they're just bringing 45 years of experience into Fastly. They're going to help them. It's a lot of forward-moving statements. Again, I'm not a financial advisor. This is just what I believe. This is what I'm doing. So if this deal at my job does not go through, let's say $4,500 that Pokemon card, let's say $5K into Tesla, and then let's say $3K into Fastly. And I don't think they're really that innovative compared to Illumina, Square, and Tesla, but it's just this is my best performing stock right now, up 150%. Anyway, guys, that is just me. I'm going to go. I love you all. I hope this helps. Again, this is just what I'm doing, transparency. But I hope with what I say in my other videos in Pokemon, other videos here, that it just helps you guys make money. As again, this is just what I'm doing. I want everyone to make money. Love you guys.